The most hated player at your football club right now. Number 1, Arsenal. Now this one is very hard because this has to be the most liked.
If I have to take a guess, the most hated player in Arsenal. Okay, first of all, are we talking about the player who rival fans hate or the player who the internal fan base hates? Because if it's internal, I would say Odegaard. But nah, Odegaard is loved. Yeah, but I'd say Odegaard compared to these other guys because I feel like Arsenal fans always expect a lot from him and he never delivers. And then I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans say he hides in big games. So I would assume they don't like Odegaard, I'm guessing. But hey, let's see what he has to say.
Arsenal team of all time. There isn't a player that the fan base collectively hates compared to 5 years ago where everybody, and I mean everybody, was getting hate except for 2 players. But if I have to choose a player, I'm gonna choose a player that will surprise you. A player that right now is on top of his game. A player that should not be labeled as the most hated player at the organization. But that player is Gabriel Martinelli. Yes, I know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Martinelli. What I just said about Odegaard, yeah, I feel like the same applies to Martinelli. In fact, a lot of people don't like him because he doesn't score enough, or every time he shoots, his shots are not clean. He scuffles them. Sometimes he shoots them straight to the goalkeeper, and it pisses a lot of Arsenal fans off. So, yeah, I get this one. I get it.
Boo, boo. Yeah, I know. But can anybody tell me a player that's hated more than Martinelli? 1 week, the Arsenal fan base loves Martinelli. They adore him. The next week, they hate him. They can't stand him. It's like he murdered their whole family. There isn't a player that gets more hate than Gabriel Martinelli.
And it's actually sad to see because Martinelli, man, he was cold. At one point, man, I used to enjoy watching this guy play. The things he was doing with the football, he had so much confidence. He was dribbling, he was taking his man on, he was creating chances, he was even scoring. Especially under Unai, he was cold, man. He was cold. I think spending a lot of time with Arteta and him adjusting to the new Arsenal system and how Arteta wants Arsenal to play has impacted his gameplay, you know, because now he just doesn't look as confident or as talented as before. But hey, man, I hope that change. Okay, I don't hope it changes. It's Arsenal. Fuck Arsenal.
In this team, it's Martinelli. 1 week Martinelli is amazing. The next week when he's trash, oh my god, the Arsenal fan base hates him. So for Arsenal, we're gonna say Martinelli. Now let's move on to Barcelona. Now at Barcelona times.
At Barcelona, I would say what's his name? The center back. What's his name? Not Kunde. The other guy. Is it I keep forgetting his name, and is Arojo, Arreo, whoever his name is. But you know who I'm talking about, man. For some reason, Barca fans don't like him, and he's not that bad, man. He seems defensively competent, but then he makes mistakes here and there, and I hear a lot of Barcelona fans complain about him. But to me, he's not as bad, man.
Have changed. At Barcelona for years, the most hated player was Ter Stegen, or shall I say, Terschladen, as Barcelona fans would call him. He was the sole owner of the hatred of Barcelona.
I wouldn't say Ter Stegen. Okay, back in the day, yes, when Messi was still there and Messi was carrying all these bumps, then yes, I agree. People hated Ter Stegen in that era. But recently, man, since Barcelona have brought on a lot of talented new players, they've improved, they've won more trophies, and he's been like a crucial goalkeeper in all that success, then all of a sudden the hate disappeared, and now they just love this guy because every time you speak about Ter Stegen to a Barcelona fan, man, they defend him. They love this guy.
Barcelona, they can't stand the man. But since now he's been replaced, somebody took over his reign. Somebody stole his chain as the most hated player in Barcelona. And that player is, ladies and gentlemen, give me that drum roll, Dani Olmo. Yes,
Dani Olmo. Okay, I'm actually surprised with that. They hate Olmo. Well, let me hear what he has to say.
Dani Olmo. Barca fans can't stand the man. They hate the man, especially since he missed that point-blank range against PSG. Matter of fact, the amount of times that this man has missed an open net is actually disgusting for Barcelona. So I understand the hatred towards him from Barcelona fans. I fully understand. If my player was doing that, I would hate on him too. But Barca fans have took it to a whole different level. Barca fans are now buying EAFC just to sell Dani Olmo out of Barcelona. So you're telling me that grown-ass men are
Okay, how sad do you have to be for you to even think of doing such a thing? That's crazy. That takes so much time and effort to actually buy the game, invest in FIFA just to sell Olmo so that your fantasies can come true. That's actually sad, man. That's crazy. But I didn't know the hate was this deep.
Buying a game worth $80 just to sell Danny Olmo off their team. That's elite level hating.
It is.
That is Lionel Messi level hating. That is Cristiano Ronaldo level hating, and I respect it. Now let's move on to another football club, Chelsea Football.
We can already see the guy in the middle, man. We can already see the guy in the middle. But if he's not going to say him, then I would assume Enzo. Because we criticize Enzo so many times, man. Yeah, sure, he gets goals for us. He's been there in big games, but man, consistently, this guy's performances, man, they've been poor. But let's just see.
And here there's only really one person Chelsea fans hate right now. They can't stand the man.
We can't.
And that person,
Garnacho.
believe it or not, is not Garnacho.
It's
Chelsea
who?
fans actually are okay with Garnacho. They don't hate him. There's a player that they hate more than Garnacho. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to put your hands together for Gittins. Chelsea fans hate.
Nah. Nah. I don't agree with that. The hate for Garnacho is bigger than Gittins. It's bigger than Gittins. And the fact that they both quite similar, it's just that Gittins offers a bit more on the ball and he's much more direct. Even lately, he's been scoring, man. The Gittins hate, man. I don't see it. And I'm surrounded by a lot of Chelsea fans. Not a lot of us hate Gittins, man, but the Garnacho hate, it's ridiculous. It's on another level. And the fact that we've seen his arrogance for Manchester United and the way he's so, what's the word, cocky, the way he believes in his ability, which is not there, by the way. There's no ability whatsoever, but then you would assume he's like on the same level as CR7 or something, but then when you actually watch him, he's poor. But then Gittins, man. Gittins is just a quiet guy. He knows his level. He's trying week in, week out. That's all I'm gonna say. And no one really says anything about Gittins, but wow, man, I'm shocked with that.
Hate Gittins right now. The player they wasted 50 M's for. A guy that plays like he's Somalian. No disrespect to my people, but the brother plays like he's Somalian. All he does is dribble. No end product, no passing, just head down and dribble into a defender. Chelsea fans hate him so much that they would rather have a Mudryk, the guy that costs over 100 million, and his time at...
But Mudryk wasn't bad. Mudryk just didn't get GA, but he wasn't a scrub, there was something in there. He could cross a ball. Nah. Gittins.
Chelsea consisted of him doing drugs and him trying to be black. They would rather have Mykhailo Mudryk than Gittins. Also, they would rather have Jadon Sancho than Gittins. This brother has been so ass to the point...
Nah, don't disrespect Sancho. Sancho actually did a lot for us. He was a good player. He offered a lot. He was taking people on. He was creating chances. Even the final against Real Betis, when he came on as a sub, man, he changed the game. He was just balling. Sancho is a baller. We know this. And we wanted him to stay. The fact that he left and Jackson left and Cole Palmer got injured, it's really hindered us, as a team. And the fact that we replaced them with people like Gittins and Garnacho and all that, it also plays to the hate, But come on, man. The Gittins hate, I don't see it.
Where Chelsea fans are now saying that he is a threat to Chelsea, not to the opposition. Now, while Chelsea fans are hating on Gittins, they have made a massive mistake. They have made a disgusting mistake. Just look at this image right here. Madueke is 40 times.
Nah. The hate Madueke got at this club, it's worse than Gittins. I can confidently say it's worse than Gittins because he scored a hat-trick for us against Wolves last season and we believed in the hype. He's going to kick off and, score a lot of goals for Chelsea. He's going to get so much confidence from this result, yada, yada, yada. But then it just didn't happen. And it got more and more frustrating for Chelsea fans, to a point where people celebrated his transfer to Arsenal. And Arsenal fans were really angry when the transfer happened, But to compare him to Gittins, nah, man, I don't see it. Madueke was worse.
Fact, 99 times the player Gittins is for Chelsea. I don't even know how a Chelsea fan can do such a thing. Imagine you were Madueke, right? You woke up in the morning, 4 a.m. You hit the gym. 6 a.m. You're eating your protein. 7 a.m. You're out on the field. You're training hard. And the first thing you do is log on to Twitter and you see this. You see this image. You know what I would do if I was Madueke? I would find out where this man lived and I would sue him to death. I would sue him for defamation.
Of
I
character.
don't care if this man is broke. I would literally take every penny this man has. That image is beyond disrespect. It is disgusting. It is defamation at its finest. Now let's move on to another football club, Manchester United.
Bruno. Yeah, it has to be Bruno. But I'm sure this guy is not gonna agree with that. I'm sure he's one of those guys that believe Bruno is a world-class footballer and Man United fans love him. But a lot of fans, they don't love him, man. They see the nonsense, you know. In fact, they genuinely believe he's their worst player. He's the reason why they have no control in midfield, yada, yada, yada. But I see him picking a guy like Harry Maguire. I genuinely think he's going to pick Harry Maguire because Harry Maguire, he's gotten a lot of hate. Like, in terms of the footballing world as a whole, no footballer has gotten more hate than Harry Maguire. That I can confidently say because this guy has been made a meme. He's made so many mistakes. I've heard bomb threats to his house. I've seen him go through a lot, you know. If he picks anyone else besides Harry Maguire, then I'm genuinely shocked. So, yeah, I'd say Maguire.
Now this one is pretty easy. This one is actually the most easiest one on this list. Manchester United fans collectively hate this man. If there's a Manchester United fan that has the jersey of this person, I will call the FBI on you. I will call the CIA on you.
Maguire.
I will call a military service on you. And that person is Ugarte. I am warning you. If you
Okay, true. Yeah, that is true. They don't like Ugarte. That is true. I've seen so much hate. Man. And even speaking to Man United fans, they cannot stand this guy. And to be fair, Harry Maguire, you know, has improved. And he's been much more reliable, you know, as of late. And he's also been scoring winners for them. So, yeah. But I guess this video is about, you know, recent players. The recent squad, who is actually the most hated. So it makes sense that he chooses Ugarte because the Harry Maguire thing, it's more like an all-time conversation than a current conversation. Okay, I get it.
you have an Ugarte jersey, that is the same as being in Al Qaeda. I will call the police services.
And to think he's the only signing from Ineos that I don't rate as a footballer. He's actually bad, like very bad. But then when you think of all the signings Ineos have made for Man United, they've actually done so well. The players they've brought in have been elite, man. From your Xerxes, Sesko, Mbuemu, Cunha, Mazraoui, De Ligt, all these guys, man, they've done so well. And I can see the quality in these guys. They've immediately taken the quality from down here to up here. Even though they don't get the consistency with results, the quality is there. It's just the coach making poor decisions over and over, you know, having control of the game in the first half and then taking Casemiro off and putting Ugarte in, and then all of a sudden the opposition gains confidence and then the game changes and then ends up as a draw. We've seen these decisions from the coach, you know. Yeah.